got the AK out.
Run up first, yeah, getting it bitch soft. I'm on dirt now, pissy baseballs. Corner pocket, getting you paid off. Touch your money, yeah, now, like I made off. Break, shut it down like a cold. Summertime pivot, but my heart was still froze. Snuck out with the same, like I was on my tippy toes. Saying adios to these thoughts and any hoes. Superstar, hopping out of black Uber car. Pop up with pizzazz, and you know I got no remorse. Gave a nigga baby boo, that's a cheat code. Puerto Rico on my arm like she J-Lo. Put your baby in a ghost, that's a boo. Fuck the ISO, I'ma had to run a two. Run up with the sack like my name was Sap, yeah. Get into these pennies like I'm Kyla Pratt, yeah. Just a rest all on your head, that's a pillow. Need a boo, get in that bread too, that's a bagel. Me and Poppy going cool, give me that loot, yeah. And my baby got some back, that's a jello. So. Yeah. So. Break, shut it down like a cold. Summertime pivot, but my heart was still froze. Snuck out with the same, like I was on my tippy toes. Saying adios to these thoughts and any hoes. Superstar, hopping out of black Uber car. Pop up with pizzazz, and you know I got no remorse. Gave a nigga baby boo, that's a cheat code. Puerto Rico on my arm like she J-Lo. Don't you touch me if you know I got no love for you. Most of you niggas dirty, can't keep it 100. Superstar feel like the goat, I was a Capricorn. Tryna fuck the whole world up like I was a star porn. Keep some stars around the boy just like a debutante. Vanessa and Mary Kate, they hate I put up a barricade. I'm selling out everything, just like a celebrity. And I got these bitches marching like it demonstrate. Okay, not cool. A baby coming to me, give me brain just like the truth. And might have to get up out that Molly water pool. And you know I'm coming 3 times ×2. Break, shut it down like a cold. Summertime pivot, but my heart was still froze. Snuck out with the same, like I was on my tippy toes. Saying adios to these thoughts and any hoes. Superstar, hopping out of black Uber car. Pop up with pizzazz, and you know I got no remorse.
Alright. Hello, this is Mild Sauce Radio. I'm Jake Krez. You're listening to Mild Sauce Coast Live, our Sunday night show with me and JustJay over here.
What up, y'all? I know, right? I gotta.
Say we're back again Sunday. Return after our big Saturday we had yesterday with all the streaming shows. The 3-piece morning show, our new show, The Backcourt. A whole bunch more coming to you every Saturday. You can find those on YouTube and on the front page of the website right now. But tonight we have a special guest. Welcoming Jhon Myquale to the broadcast. Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we're coming out on a windy Sunday.
Yeah, I had nothing better to do, so.
I appreciate it, man. Coming and hanging out with us. We got a few records of yours we're going to be playing throughout the night. For people who might not be familiar, tell us a little about yourself. I know you've been bouncing around the country while you ended up here in Chicago. I know you grew up in New York, right?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, no worries. So, yeah, it's Jhon Myquale. I was born in Milwaukee. My family, prior, to moving to Milwaukee, my father was actually born in Germany. My mother's father comes from Louisiana, and then during the Great Migration, of course, everybody migrated up north. I was raised on a street called Melvina. It's on the north side of Milwaukee. North side of Milwaukee is more comparable to like south side. It's where majority of like minorities stay. So yeah, Melvina, I grew up there, and then through school, I was always a good student. I got another opportunity at a really, really young age to move on to New York. So my mom made a sacrifice. I moved there. I pursued music and higher education. Then from there, I stayed there for a bit and ended up moving to Chicago in 2014. And around that time, that's when, a lot of the musicians that are like on now were like sort of like bubbling. I remember, so I went to DePaul. After class one day I ran into Mick, and like I talked to him, I'm like, man, I don't really think I'm gonna be, doing school, much longer, and he was like, yeah, man, I just moved back up here for real, from Arkansas.
Right.
You know, I stopped going to school, so he gave me a little advice, you know, like just make sure, you know, you're actually ready. Like that's the best decision. And then from there, I ran into Fatima and like a bunch of other people. So it was like, you know, I was 18 at the time, so it was like, all right, this is definitely the crowd of people that I want to be around.
Yeah, it's definitely a good company to keep. Was it always the goal to be doing music? Like, were you going out to New York with that in mind? Was that like a path you were trying to take, or was that just something that kind of came about naturally?
What's funny is that even growing up in Melvina, you know, I was always like, I guess New York-esque, if that's, you know, even a term. But a lot of people growing up would say, man, you know, you have like a New York spirit. But really, I was just a fan of like hip hop. So growing up, you know, I started making music. I like really committed to it in like high school, and I got skipped. So, like when I mentioned I was like smart as shit in school. So I got skipped. So I was like 13 years old.
You mean like skip a grade?
And I was a 13-year-old freshman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sophomore year, I was 14. That's when I decided, like, man, I think this is something that I really want to do. Because I realized, you know, not a lot of people can do it. I thought rapping was something that everybody had the talent to do. Because I started freestyling, just, you know, fucking around when I was 8 years old. So we would have like different assignments in class and shit like that. And it was like, hey, write a poem and I'll be done. And then you'll see like people are like still writing and like struggling.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there, it was mainly because of education. Like my mom, she was very proud. You know, when she seen, you know, me getting like 4.0s and like straight A's and stuff like that. So originally it was like, all right, to get into, you know, the big city for like more opportunities. So it was half and half, music and education. And when I moved to New York, man, I just fell in love. I feel like, you know, for the first time, I actually felt at home. You know, especially being in high school and like early on, I felt like I never really fit in like the in crowd, mainly because, you know, I wasn't really with the bullshit, bro. Like at an early age, it's like, you know, I got into trouble, but then I learned like really quickly, like, you know, where this leads to. So, you know, a majority of the popular people were the ones that were like doing dumb shit, skipping school, doing stuff, you know. So I began to apply myself, and then when I moved to New York, it was like, damn, you're actually cool for being weird or like different.
Yeah, sure.
And like people started to embrace me a lot more. I found like a group of people who like still to this day, you know, I rock with heavily. I get mad love out there.
That's what's up. So how old were you when you came back? You said like 18, right before you came to college?
Yep, 18.
So what was the experience, like what would you say you took the most from just being in New York? I mean, going there for a weekend, somebody can have a great experience. So like spending a few years there had to be like a whirlwind and just
oh my God. My first everything happened in New York.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was raised in church, and, you know, my mom, she was a bit more like protective. You know, being a young kid in the city, it's like, she didn't want me to end up like my uncle, well, one of my uncles. She didn't want me to end up like my cousins. So her way of like protecting me was sort of like being as strict as possible, right? But I still found a way to, you know,
everybody does
stuff. But when you move away and you're still a teenager and you're living on your own, it's like you can't like police me out here.
So you were like by yourself, what, like as a teenager in New York?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so it was fun as fuck.
Were you living on your own too?
Fucking, yeah.
Damn, that's wild. Was it for school or something? Like staying away at school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's mainly why. It was kind of bittersweet, you know. I'm the oldest, so when I was leaving, she was kind of like reluctant. Like, I don't really want to let you go type thing.
That's like all moms, right?
Pretty much.
Right.
Man. But yeah, when I got out there, yeah, like I mentioned, like my first everything happened. I really learned, you know, how to be comfortable with being myself. But again, that was my first experience with people actually embracing me for like just being myself. And then the support out there is crazy. The love out there is crazy. Like, man, I can breathe out there, if that makes sense. Like, you just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, when I say I can breathe, I don't feel like, it doesn't feel congested. Even though
That's
it's like
funny,
so
kind of,
many
yeah.
people there, it's like, I don't know, man. I feel so comfortable. Like, everybody is so cool. I don't have any enemies. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is just family. Like, from all parts, just rock with me heavily. So, and then I guess this was a good thing and a bad thing. You know, it sort of makes you arrogant. You know, being out there, everybody feels like they're on. Because, you know, New York is New York. And then coming to Chicago, it sort of humbles you. So New York on the outside, it's more flashy. When I go there, majority of the musicians are, like, focused on making, like, club records, which is funny. Last time I was there, the promoter, like, got us into the club, me and my boy Ish, and, like, we were on the stage, like, doing rapper shit. So it's like we're, like, sitting there, like, rapping to, like, other people's lyrics, and I'm just like, gee, like, is this what, you know, rappers really do? Like, go and throw money inside the clubs and, like, do shit like that. So I, like, go there to have fun now and just sort of, like, get a break from, like, working. Because in Chicago, it's like, there's so much fucking talent here. And, like, I've known it for, you know, since I was young, but now you're seeing, like, a new wave. Like, it's a renaissance. Like, you know, the first jazz records were recorded here. House music, you know, came from Chicago. And some of the greatest musicians inside the world. So I feel like there's a certain amount of discipline coming from New York and, you know, coming to Chicago. It's like immediately you're humble because you see a high school kid or even a middle school kid pouring his heart out, and he's, like, passionate and talented as fuck.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
At the Adidas store last night.
YCA was the first place that I went. You know, I got on stage all arrogant, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm the man. And, like, it was, like, maybe 2 or 3 people clapped, and it's like, damn.
Kind of humble you quick.
Yeah, like, real quick. You know what I'm saying? So from there, it's like I was always a student, but Chicago just, you know, reinstilled that. So it's like continue to, you know, be humble, continue to work, and perfect the craft. So that's what I've been doing ever since, like, constantly perfecting the craft.
Dope. We're going to jump into a few songs that are a result of that craft real quick. You got?
Oh, yeah. That one queued up. This is actually your song, Melvina.
Oh, Melvina. Yeah.
Perfectly on point with the story about North Milwaukee.
Yep.
All right.
Jhon Myquale, Melvina. This is Melvina.
Tucked in the bed when I was like 7. Screams in the night and the violence was domestic. Y'all really don't know Jhon, and half of y'all won't get it. I always was different, never what you expected. Rats and roaches, snakes and vultures, pops is smoking, cousins posted, hoes and folks, and lords that grow up the chrome and smoke. I watch them do it, backseat choking, they hotboxing the Buick. I was influenced by cartoons and concrete killers. The Great Depression, I'm from the era. Slum your block in the future, they feeling your footsteps. Screaming power to people, the plug ain't learning that lesson. Keep it calm in the middle, searching for my equilibrium. Seen a nigga high key, had it out, fuck his helium, blood on the concrete. Yellow tape in the interim, interrupt your interlude when the bullets were interim. I be feeling like Uma Thurman with the...
Hello?
Sorry, Hollywood story.
Who is it? I'll just call you back. I'll talk to you later. What's up?
We coming back for them. They might say that they don't know. They say they don't know.
No, you got the wrong number.
Myquale, I'm 2G. In the hood like smoke under a hoopty, legs under a hoochie, ooh. Ain't felt shit kicked this hard since Bruce Lee turned bougies to groupies. Burn tablets and loose sleep, bubbling since 04. Limping, running from the popo. Put you while you acting like a hofo. Behind over logos. Lapping up inside that photo. Mugging never smiling in your photo. When Kurt got his brains blow. 3 niggas from different angles. Could've lost my father on that same road. Same streets we ain't gone. Bittersweet, get carry heat at the moment. Best carry heat in the morning. Cadillac dreaming with the big wheels. Playing grown since the shorty been in corners on my big wheel. Non-fiction, this shit's real. Tried to mask it, burdens this massive rugged street road to Damascus. Tragic, went from backflips on mattresses. Fast forward, I carried my mother's casket. Shit, can't get worse than that. Spin a record, turn a verse to a weapon. Hearse with a V7 when you reckon that this shit couldn't get worse than rap. Get up on your feet now, get up off your knees now. Go on, let the steam out. All the world delivered with the ease of a freestyle. And all I used to dream about is house on the hills like a pump. Stilettos, walking you can find a dead body in these meadows. Pudgy, what you scared for? I was 9 when I took my first ride in the car with the 5-0. When mama shed tears was a tough pill to swallow. Little brother see me far from a role model. Vet had the strap, but the tips wasn't hollow. A year or 2 later, Soldier Boy went viral. Age 10 when I bent my first letter to the pen. When Nick served 10, mama never told me why though. Since then, I've been searching for the truth. On the hunt for the loot like watered down juice. Yellow speed bike, 22s on the coupe. Kev, it's drug money, got a newer pair of shoes. 07 went back to the joint, serving 2 times 2. Do the math free when I was 6'2", And as a shorty, I looked up to the dope man. Only the dope man, I knew that wasn't broke, man. Trying to find hope, man, you don't know, man. Since 12 months was the one on the sun. In the sun, y'all niggas better get with the program. Spit heat, they ain't gotta go 10. Feeling like they ain't getting half of what I'm saying like I'm Goten. Oh man, Jhon keep it grand like an old man. Ludacris, young nigga came with the potion. Fix for the moment, fix this broken. Blowing clouds in the opening, pass on my broken. Real shit, only give up pearls when I'm rolling. The coldest, like how body quiver when I stroke it. Moan when I'm bone, prone to leave your body soaking. Baby girl, stop it. Game tight and really got an option. Rarely ever kitten, no adopter. Playing since the air popping, since my pops popped in. X-Man tripping, need to quit it, John Cochran. Head to the streets, I feel like Van Gogh. Sliding to the function, ain't no telling where that Van Gogh. Merch other niggas will front like an endo. Pull up blowing endo out the window, me and my kinfolk. My brother hit a stripper, learned the lesson. Should've been strapped, fuck a weapon. Now that's a good investment. Dancing on the poles, no election. Oh, wait a second. Hard body trucking trucks on the intersection. Fudgy, why you stressing? Cream get the money to rest it. I was trying to hang like a teen or the chain on the necklace. Willie on my bike, fuck a range in the Lexus. And shorty named Alexis. Still got a kiss, just 10, 9, 7, just to put it in perspective. Went home with her own, just the place I was resting. Fuck 12 until they get the message. I probably died, then laugh it off at my resurrection. Caught it in my teeth, spit the bullet in the street, ice cold for the heat, speak until you get the message. On and off record on the quest with a question like why he no mad in the midst of recession. Wintertime Yamaha was my best present. Jhon, I'm sure you heard of him. He make beats and murder him, you can use his services. I heard he spitting pop shit, he just reworded it. It's light from the sun, bitch, go ahead, soak it in. Jhon. Rolling up the Philly, bumping freeway on the E-way. Giving cuts and scratches like your wifey's favorite DJ. Wifey's favorite rapper, your mama's favorite rapper, your little brother, cousin, auntie, uncle favorite rapper, been up.
Oh my God. That's so fun.
Rolling up the Philly, bumping freeway on the E-way. Give them cuts and scratches like your wifey's favorite DJ, your wifey's favorite rapper, your mama's favorite rapper, your little brother, cousin, auntie, uncle favorite rapper. Been a monster since pajama and nappy hair. Knew I was a dream. Hoodie my proper tuck, still spitting that shit that got Biggie killed in Suburban. Written since K4. Niggas is hella childish, that's why we hold K's for. More drama and hella violence. Mount to fuck on your bitch, ignoring you when you calling, and she gon' take longer dick. Right now she got bigger problem. Raised in them city streets, I've been forever riding through training wheels in the streets. Sirens and helicopters, they carry hella chopper. Fury of Melly Mel, busting on any nigga with or without CDL. Tinted on the window in the creepy crawler. 17, I hit my first a week, was up in Harlem. Blow it out the window, middle finger to the cop. Now I cop the 7th on the 9 to blow before the morning. Lunchtime, 16, spitting 16s. Fire breathing, speaking with the driver, 6 speeds. Wintertime, heavy Timberland, ain't speaking missies. With the wicked written shit to raise the fucking bar and leave your ass feeling tipsy. Now niggas with the shits like maggots is. If you don't see the vision, I'll show you what a fraction is. Practice with trained assassins, it's not by accident. I been blew her back out, now guess who's back again? My shit dynamite, bound to excite haters. That's more ironic than when I choked on lifesavers. Or if a stoner had Las Vegas and Las Vegas, we still gon' pack a ball. You niggas is casserole and pastas and macarons, been off in war. Galloped into the battle, yielding a fucking sword and leaving with no battle scars. Like Jesus told me go hard. Spit that heat, gon' make the devil jealous. Put that on guard at no charge. Pay me attention, my nigga. I'm on the speaker, bang. On real life, and that's on the real life. Where fishes hang, I go against the grain. Blackout on anything, I put that on everything. It's the hardest since Big and Dre. Allow me to demonstrate. When it's crunch time, I'm two-packed on 2 straps with a beef fat. 2 pick on my dinner plate. Kill them all if they imitate. Plan follow the leader, they couldn't be us or beat us. Y'all never on point and my benches laced. Niggas flopping, bitches popping pussy. I've been watching toxic niggas dying. Shots is fired in the night. As young as I am, I've been watching since the toddler. Never bothered, numb my conscience, numb to violence. That's why I never needed help, you know I ask myself. Evaporation, I drop heat and gas myself, nigga.
I think that's like that time.
So I was talking to this
Jhon Myquale.
My second home in your aorta. Guess I'll be learning on my own until I'm older. Cat come and fill me with some wisdom. Say yeah, the prince smart, but the kingdom is who fall apart. So season when you meet her, or at least until that string comes. And when her eyes up, you soon see the geyser. She said the other geyser, not as cool as I am. She asking me, am I in a group with Mayans? Is it because I hold your cortisone? Up in the sack, she screaming louder than the Georgia Dome. She can give it 97 pimp shit. Game on point, like a pivot, never coming up short. Like a dwarf, she said, you know you could've just said midget. Well, of course, but I didn't, girl. Ain't that why you like me? Cause I'm different, girl. Asking me these questions like why you ain't choose a different girl. Well, some things you just can't explain. It makes sense, you think your last nigga fly your ex-plane. Upgrade, GA, come up out the BJ's. Wait, ain't even write this down. But truthfully, you can make it right when we lying down. You know, to keep your legs closed like the lost and found. Seem like I knock you off your square whenever I come around. And put it down like that. Now, why would you doubt it? Put it down, just so you can go.
Go tell your friends about it. Go tell your friends about it. About it. Go tell them what you know, what you see, how I know.
Execute, new girl in designer, but my ex is cute. I rule, all my ex are 10, that's Roman numeral. There they go, flexing with my niggas, we from Flexico. Colico, Gina in the Beamer, rockin' Tommy, oh. Cell bumping, sliding to the function. I'm just trying to function since a youngin'. No, I ain't for nothing, no, I ain't for nothing. 94, on the 94, bumping dry slow, switching lanes, private to the public, fucking introduction. All my life the evil's advice, fuck your advice, what's your addiction? Sipping dirty Sprite, I might die tonight, oh you the man, popping rubber band, might just pop a Zan, my generation plagued by the land, hit you when I land.
All right, we're back. Mild Sauce Radio. Jake Krez with the No Co's live show. We're here every Sunday at 7 o'clock. Tonight we got, don't let me mess this up again, Jhon Myquale. Myquale?
Yeah, Myquale.
Myquale. All right, my bad. I'm going to get that right back.
Yeah, that's my government.
I'm notorious.
It's cool, man.
So we were talking a little bit about like your origin of music and going out to New York and everything.
Yep.
What was like the spark just to get you in the booth to start recording? Like what was your reason for beginning to actually record music? I know you said you've been rapping since a young age, but at what point did you kind of start getting stuff or creating songs and whatnot?
Yeah, so that was sophomore year of high school. I was sitting in class and I was always writing. You know, I played sports, a couple of sports too, but for the most part, I had a few AP Lit classes for like literature and just studying like different types of rhetoric, rhetorical devices, different things like that. And I excelled. So that sort of helped with what I was doing. Around that time, I was listening to a lot of early J. Cole and like underground people. I was actually listening to kids DJs before I even knew like who the fuck they were. Add 2 is another person I just met recently.
Absolutely.
Who like I'm like, you know, although they're right in Chicago, when I'm on the blogs, I'm just listening to the music, not conscious. Like, damn, they're like 2 hours away from here type
It's
shit.
crazy sometimes to realize how like close everybody is.
So then from there, it was like, again, through school, I got like this laptop. And, you know, I had a few friends who were into music and like produced and whatnot. And I told them like I wanted to get into producing. And it was like, yo, download FL Studio. So I downloaded it and I literally just started sampling every fucking thing I could find and, yo, just making beats, like hella beats a day, you know, locking myself in a room type shit, taking my laptop like to class, like writing in class, making beats in class, in a lunchroom, like whenever I had time, like on a bus on the way home type shit. My dad, it's funny to me because I think I guess we decided to start rapping at the same time. And so he like had a studio in his house. It was just more so like a closet space next to the living room. He would just like add cushion in there, and like I would sneak from school to like go record, cause like at this time my mom wasn't really fully behind like the idea of like making music. So I would sneak to school, make these like vlogs and shit, and the whole time, you know, she was on my social media, even when I didn't think she knew I had social media. Right. So like she would ask me like, oh, so what did you do today? So yeah, I went to class, you know what I'm saying? Right. She was like, oh, so what's this? What's this video? I'm like, oh shit. So I tried to find like
sneaky with that.
Yeah, man, you had to be. My pops, he's like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. He was just like, whatever. But my mom, like I mentioned, she was a lot more strict. So, yeah, 14, I started recording, like, freestyles. And, yeah, around that time, like, Joey Badass was, like, popular, the whole pro era thing. Kendrick was coming up, and then, like, J. Cole used to just freestyle at lunch and shit like that. So it was just something that I was passionate about. You know, I used to attend these orientations. They're, like, pretty much preparing you for college. And it was like, you know, you should choose a career that, you know, you look forward to waking up every day. And so they always said that, and I'm just thinking like, damn, what do I like really, really love? And yeah, one day I just woke up and was like, yeah, I want to make music, and I think I can be good at it. So you dropped out of school though? Not at 14, no. Well, you said, you stopped going to school for me. No, I just got out of school early, but went back. So it's like graduating like early as hell. No, I didn't
14
drop out.
Is like, fuck it. I'm out of here.
Fuck it. I'm like pursuing it.
Some Lil Wayne shit.
Nah,
The
yeah.
whole time. But
I got signed at 14.
I just graduated from high school and then went on to like pre-college and like eventually like university. I dropped out of college. That's what it was.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, I dropped out of DePaul. I was like, fuck it. Coming to Chicago, it was a culture shock, bro. And to be honest, I don't know if I should say this, but fuck DePaul.
Yeah, DePaul's got not the best
DePaul,
reputation over there right now. So.
Man, DePaul is, you know, it's, I guess, I don't know, bro. Chicago was a culture shock because I didn't realize how segregated it was and how cliquey it was. So when I got here, it was like, I'm trying to infiltrate like these scenes. And on the music scene, it wasn't like really the hardest because I was a new face and like everybody, a lot of people didn't know I made music, so they weren't really fucking with me because of the music. Mm-hmm. So I just used that opportunity to just pretty much see how other people move around the city. But at DePaul, you know, I would be in class and like a lot of people just make you feel like, why the fuck are you here? Even if you're the smartest motherfucker in class, yeah, they just make you feel very uncomfortable. And so after a while, I was like, you know, this is not something that I want to do.
What was like a particular moment of culture shock that you had, or like was it like a moment of show or a thing or something that happened that made you be like, really take a step back?
I moved to Bridgeport when I first got here, and like, you know, it was either that or Inglewood when I was like looking for apartments, and I actually packed up like all of my shit inside like this Toyota, and like we drove down here, and I had class the next day, but I hadn't found like a place to stay. I had been looking on like, you know, all different apartment websites, and so eventually just saw this Craigslist ad for like an apartment in Bridgeport. And mind you, I don't really have any sort of like context of where everything is and what neighborhood, besides like the bad ones that you hear and shit. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to live in Inglewood, bro. So like, let's try out this Bridgeport neighborhood. And so ended up, you know, convincing them, throwing them a little bit more money to let me like move in the night of. And so immediately after, I'm like, just sort of like catapult into the city. And it's like, all right, I'm getting settled into my house, getting settled into the school, and then also my social life. So it was a lot, but it was cool. So I remember the first thing was, I'm talking to my boy Mitchell, who actually I met in New York, but he moved back to Chicago. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm staying in Bridgeport. He was like, oh, shit, you're staying in Bridgeport? And I'm like, yeah, like it's, you know, it's like nothing, bro. Like, it's chill. And he was like, nah, man, bro, you got to be careful. I'm like, oh, shit. My fucking first week, you know, everybody on the outside thinks Chicago is just like, I still get texts from my family, like, be safe. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear that, I'm just like, what the fuck are you, you know, what are you saying? And like, he just told me a bit about the history. So that was a culture shock. Cause in even like hopping in Ubers, people will come pick me up from my house. Like, wait, you live over here? It's like, yeah, it's like, bro, you know, like when I was your age, we couldn't even come to this part of the city. And I'm like, damn. So that was one thing. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, just you can see it. If you hop on the red line, you go from Howard all the way, you know, to 95th. It's like you start off at Howard, and it's pretty much nothing but, you know, fair-skinned people, fair-skinned, and you get to downtown, and it sort of integrates a little bit, and then you get to Roosevelt, and by the time you get to Sox 35th, it's like there's probably only one white person on the train, for real. And like you're looking like, hey, if you're not off the train by like Sox 35th, by 47th, you're gonna get off. And so, like, you see it's a clear divide just riding the train. So
that's actually real. That's like a perfect description of Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, people like to argue that it's not that segregated, but like that's a perfect example. Like you can clearly see the separation.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They say it's like the most diverse place, but I guess within its diversity it's segregated because like you'll have like Russians that stay in like this part of the town. Jamaicans and just different places. So there are a lot of fucking people here, but it's just like in certain pockets, like concentrated pockets.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, the west and the south sides are just so much segregated from, you know, the parts of the city that they're developing. Like, you know, River North has how many buildings going up, the West Loop has how much going on, but they're just forgotten areas of the city.
And even like being on the outside, like you see that shit. And at this point, it just feels like they're just trying to push everybody to the suburbs at this point. Like, continue to push you further and further south until you're not really in the city. I mean, I'm close to Bronzeville, and I want to live in Bronzeville. And I recently met this guy, and he comes, you know, up to me, and I'm like, so, like, he's like, yeah, I'm new to the area. I'm like, well, what brought you here? He was like, you know, it's just more affordable. It's cheaper. It's like, he grew up north his entire life, and so you see, you know, they're building a Whole Foods, in like Inglewood. I think it's like what 63rd or somewhere.
They built the one out west. They built another one in Inglewood too. Right?
Yeah. So, you know, that's a sign. But I was living in Brownsville for a little bit, and it's becoming a lot more integrated, and the houses are becoming a lot more expensive, and so it just forces you to move south because you can find a studio apartment for like $500 on 79th and like South Shore, you know, but is that the like safest area?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's 79th though. No, I'm not from the South Side, so I can't really say if that is safe or not. But like,
I was looking into that apartment because it's nice as shit. But then this old lady, she comes downstairs. She put me on game like instantly. Like, yeah, you're a young kid. You know, for me it's a bit different, but like, it's nice along the beach. But think about it. You might want to go get some water, and the corner store is like a few blocks. Like going like east and west, like north and south on like the South Shore Drive. It's like hella traffic, so there isn't really much going on. But once you hit that corner and start going like into the neighborhood, then it's like that's when you start to run into problems. But at the same time, it's a fucking $500 for a studio space, and it's nice as fuck. It's really nice.
It's almost like, all right, I'm gonna live over here. I'm probably not gonna leave the crib too much.
You feel me?
If I do, I'm going like somewhere, and then I'm coming back.
Exactly.
Like, you really gotta plan your moves out.
But
That's where they know where to live, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's just what?
It's like nowhere to live, just like planning to like that.
It's definitely different.
But I mean, it's something we've written about a lot on the site too. Mild Sauce is just like the like pushing out of people from the Southwest.
Yeah.
To eventually like try to bring people back in who moved to the suburbs 60 years ago.
Which is crazy because you know, when the suburbs were originally created, you know, people of color couldn't get houses inside the suburbs, and now it's like,
well, it's like the reverse.
Exactly. So that's, I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah, Chris Kennedy, who's running for governor, just like brought that up and leveled it against Rahm, like when he first announced his running, but like
True.
It became like a big thing in the news recently.
Facts.
But anyway, getting off that subject, came to Chicago. You're talking a little bit about having trouble, you know, like breaking into the scene, like breaking into any scene is always, you know, it's awkward or weird or something like that. You got to like talk to people and go places and whatnot. How was it for you? I mean, obviously you've ingratiated yourself to the scene, what we all refer to as the Renaissance and whatnot. You're very much a part of that. What is it like to be, you know, here in Chicago at this time and to discover it at the time you did?
Bro, it was like a fucking playground, man. It was fun.
It's a great
like I tell you, I hit the ground running. It wasn't really tough for me because I was like so social. I feel like the difference is the older I get, I guess in a lot of ways I become more reserved. But yeah, bro, I just had a like, and I still do, but I had a fucking huge personality. So it was like I'm always talking to people, and then if you've never seen me before, it's like, you know, I don't think I look like too many people. It's like, oh yeah, I've seen you before, like at this event, because I was literally everywhere. So just going around, I don't know, man. I think the first person that I met on the scene was Jasmine Barber. Before that, I went to YCA, like I was telling you, and like just basically started attending that, and then a lot of what got me like introduced was, you know, I met Jasmine at first, and then of course there's so many fucking girls here, and I guess I was like in a lot of ways just like fresh meat. So, you know, fucking with different girls, it's like inviting me to this event, then I'm meeting like so many other people. So
it's like the smallest big city in the world too.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
yeah. But like you realize everybody knows fucking everybody.
Exactly.
So it was simple, man. I had fun. I like started to slow down the older I got. Like, all right, let me chill out a little bit. But yeah, it was easy.
As far as like musically though, what were some like opportunities of people you were working with that like, you know, got you in a studio in town, got you in like a, you know, working with somebody, a producer, another artist or anything? Was there like some initial
So I like started off like I would just always produce my own shit. Like I did everything for myself. So in a lot of ways, I guess people came to me for help. Like, oh, yo, you produce, or, you know, let's collab, let's do this. No like big names for real. I mean, I met Saba at a workshop, like a YCA workshop, and like he like rapped over a beat that I produced, but it wasn't like, now I'm like fucking with you type shit.
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of ways in Chicago, or anywhere for real, you have to like prove yourself. You have to apply yourself and prove yourself before people start to give you the recognition that you feel that you deserve.
That's real.
So, yeah, that's pretty much been the process for, since I've been here. Man, I mean, it's something that I love to do, so it's not really, it's a challenge, but it's not tough. It's not dreadful. So it's like I'm constantly working to improve. I feel like that's everybody as a person, but especially with music and creating like a brand for myself, something that's true to me. And then the more and more I grow, it seems like I get more and more opportunities. And by the time I get those opportunities, I've already experienced different shit. So it's like, I've learned a lot. Therefore, I guess I'm more suitable for the opportunities. They say God won't give you anything that you can't handle.
Right.
So like when you're ready for it, you'll get it. So that's what it feels like.
Yep.
Take a break real quick.
Bet that.
Is this a music real fast?
True shit.
Did you mistake your roots for mine? sleeping alone there. In your dreams, who do you run to? Maybe we can meet somewhere. I'm the son of the coward. They party cars in my hair, where my niggas get buried, and war with my words. You have a topic to spare for a little while. Only be a minute now. Only be a minute now.
Tend to hold your liquor like genie inside. Wonder if you're gin, sipping gin or I hope he grant your wish in immediate time. Magic carpet, stop wind blowing out the window. Legend has it, she approaching a bohemian fashion. Inside the party, she was Rastafari. Same design, but cut from different fabrics. I grabbed her hand and we started dancing. My back against the wall as a group passed me. Golden watches match pockets that contain golden rubbers for your attraction. Inside the hallway, we drinking parlay. The music blasted, scored the madness. But then I lost sight when my boys had grabbed me. A fight inside the room when the chrome's blasted. Music scratches, the people scatter, stumble out the back door and into the alley. But I did manage to get your addy. I hop inside my chariot and cruise the valley. Cause I heard
you live by the jungle. What's it like sleeping alone there? In your dreams, who do you run to? Maybe we can meet somewhere. I'm the son of the coward. They party cars in my hair, where my niggas get buried, and war with my words. You have a topic to spare for a little while. Only be a minute now.
All right, we're back. Mild Sauce Radio.
Yeah.
No Coast Live. Jhon Myquale.
Myquale, yeah.
I get it?
Yep.
I was a little hard on the quail part.
It's cool, Myquale.
So we were listening to some music. What we have just now over here, Jay?
The song we just listened to? Yeah. That was his song, Jungle, featuring Matt James.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
You in the mic, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna get used to it. Yeah.
Last week I was just chilling, like didn't have to say shit. I was like, this is nice. I'm fucking with
Facts.
Trying to get you involved, man. Just trying to get you involved.
That's the first Jhon I produced high. Like, for real, man. It was like I was second guessing it. My boy Matt, he was like, yo, let me hear what you listening to. And like I let him hear it, and he immediately just like started singing. And I'm like, you like this shit? He was like, hell yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. Started writing to it, and it just happened like instantly. So that was cool.
It seems like that happens with you a lot. You talked about a few other songs that just kind of came to you right off the top.
Yeah, man. I mean, James Brown says he doesn't do like more than one take. He just sort of like whatever happens the first time, like it was meant to be type shit. So sometimes, I'll sit on the track, for a while, write different drafts, like different verses. But I appreciate freestyling and shit like that. I freestyle my ass off.
We had Cece on last week, and she said she does the same thing. She just pops in she doesn't like write anything down. She just listens to the track a few times, pops in, does it just like Jay-Z, of course.
That's
like the
fucking crazy. Right? My boy Ishmael is like that. Ish Vital, he's an up-and-coming artist out in New York. He actually helped me like develop that talent to like remember like shit like Jay-Z writes, but not like physically. He writes in his head. And Ish is the same fucking way. So like, hip hop is competitive. It's fun competition, but yeah, he would just pace back and forth, whispering to himself, and then just go in and like record some shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've seen Femdot do that a couple times.
Really?
Yeah,
that's fucking insane.
That guy can rap for days though too.
Yeah, I fuck with.
Shout out Femdot.
We had a class together at DePaul.
I'm sure, man. He takes all the classes.
Hey, man, he's a scholarly dude. Shouts to my boy Femdot.
Absolutely. Just in the bobsled team for the Nigerian bobsled team.
Yep.
Yeah. He's out in South Korea, I think, right now, watching his sisters.
That's tough.
Very, very dope. But your music specifically, you're just talking about like being able to freestyle and whatnot. It's a talent, like rapping talent these days isn't as valued as it once was. I guess that's always kind of been like the conversation in modern hip hop, right? But in the age of Lil Pump, 6ix9ine and stuff, it's definitely it's definitely a little bit like amplified.
Yeah.
So for you, like, what does it mean to be able to like hold down like at least those tenets? You know, like a lot of people, it used to be about, you know, hip hop, you had to like kind of conquer a few things before you could go off and do other stuff. But
Yeah.
do you like hold that to like a, you know, like a higher standard or anything? Or is it something important to you?
I'm a student, bro, and I'm a fan. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the most conscious motherfucker because I'm young. So I do vibe out to, you know, Lil Pump and Tekashi, but at the same time, like when I'm coming up, it's like my uncle made music, so it's like he was also an MC, and it's like, you know, he knew how to scratch, you know, graffiti, you know, breakdance, right, and MC, which are like the four elements of hip hop, and then fifth, like knowledge of self.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so seeing that at an early age, it's like I have respect for, you know, those who came before me, because they paved the way. And then, you know, James Baldwin says, you know, if you don't know where you're coming from, you won't know where you're going. So it's like a Sankofa type thing, just looking back, appreciating the past, but incorporating it into the new. Kanye is one of the people that does that shit effortlessly.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I can, you know, you'll hear a Kanye record and it's like, look at what he's sampling. He's sampling records from like the 40s, the 50s, you know, and like combining it with like early hip hop, just like breakbeat and different shit like that, or like call and response, like say, hey, ho, you know, we in the house, like shit like that, like north side, south side, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's just some shit that I keep alive because, I mean, it's not like I'm necessarily trying to. It's just is what it is.
Yeah. Also, your sound is very much like reflective of the journey you kind of explained to us. You know, it's kind of like it's got those tenets of like New York hip hop.
Yeah.
Brought to like kind of this experimentative Chicago. Like mishmash of everything we have going on here. What's that been like? You know, kind of combining those things. Obviously, maybe not something that's been conscious, but something that might seems to manifest itself in your work a lot.
I mean, shit. It's just like I love hard fucking drums. I mean, it's simple as that. But then I also, like, my mom always used to fucking play Erykah Badu and like gospel music. So I love, like, if I could sing, I joke around like, gee, if I, you know, could sing, I like drop all these rap skills and shit like that. Shit. Bro, I'm telling you, fam. Like, if I had the voice of Napalm, like from Higher Scale, Coyote, it's like you wouldn't hear me rap like not one more time. You feel me? And I like shit like that, like John Mayer, Etta James, different people. So it's just more so like hard hitting drums, but then I also like melodic shit. So I mean that's pretty much that. That's not like my formula or anything. Sometimes.
What can we expect from the new project that you have coming out March 9th?
So the new project, and I ain't even announced it. So this is a
shit.
Mild Sauce exclusive.
It's
fuck
cool,
that up?
bro. No.
All right.
But yeah. So it's cool. Bro.
And y'all gotta watch Mild Sauce because we get exclusives and shit.
Whole time.
There it is.
But yeah, it's Flight Theory, man. It's like a debut project just for like a taste of, you know, what I can do. I guess Flight Theory pretty much encompasses as, you know, elevating. In short, but yeah, man, I'm experimenting with my voice a little bit, rapping a lot more, pretty much, you know, finding myself as a person. The journey creating the project was a fucking experience, for real. Damn, like, I went through like a fucking relationship when I was like 19, and I was like staying with my girlfriend at the time, and like her mom, like we ended up moving in together, and then, you know, I got kicked out because we broke up and had like a disagreement, and so from there it was like hopping like couch to couch and just pretty much vibing, and like it was the most fucking fun I had ever had inside the city. And it sounds like crazy because I'm like, hey, man, I don't want to do that shit again, but whole time, bro, like I had so much fucking fun that summer. So that was like kind of from that the result of like, yeah, man, it was just like, and you know, to be honest, you dealing with somebody that you know you love, embarked on a spiritual journey, finding myself again, because you get engulfed in like side of a relationship, and then once you leave that relationship, you gotta figure out how to live by yourself again. You get what I'm saying?
You're almost like finding yourself.
Yeah, you feel me? Especially living with somebody, bro. I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it again. But yeah, from there I just started writing a lot more, and what's crazy is that a hella opportunities came during that time. When I like lost everything, not everything, but yeah, you feel me? It was like got a Pigeons and Planes write up just out of the fucking blue. I'm like, oh shit. It was like I was recording at a studio at this time. That's when I made Jungle. It was like, then Fake Sure did like a write up, and I'm like, oh shit, Lyrical Lemonade was fucking with me. So it was just like a cool experience. It was like very inspirational. I had went to South by Southwest for the first time. I like got backstage with like Kalani, Mick was back there, my boy Warhol, Erica fucking Badu was back there. You know what I'm saying? Got free shoes.
Free shoes.
Yeah, man. I got free shoes, free alcohol. You know what I'm saying? It was tea, man.
So leading up to this album, you feel like it's gonna be like a big step forward for you? Is it? Does it feel like progression of? I mean, obviously, it's.
It feels like I'm just developing more with my sound. Of course, like I'm done with this project. I'm excited to get it out, but I'm also excited to start working on more shit. Yeah. Just continue to like work, grow, and develop. So, I got faith, bro. Like generally, what happens is I'll get an opportunity. It's like God will throw me a little bone, and He's like, all right, let's see what you can do with this. And then like, I'm the type of person, I work extra hard. And even sometimes that doesn't feel like enough. But, my working hard is sometimes like, like 20%, 30% more than what people like are actually putting in. But I still feel like, hey, this shit ain't enough. Like I got to go like 10 times harder. But after, I release whatever, I do whatever, I'll just get another bone, and it's like, oh shit. Yeah. And it's like a step higher. So it's like, again, flight theory, just like elevating. So, I'm excited to share the music with people, interact with people, get more feedback, whether it's good or bad, and just continue to like make more music and rap my ass off. So
that's what's up, man. Well, dope. That's kind of all the time we got here for tonight. But
bet that.
Dope. Thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been like a pleasure.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
Also, just let all people know in the Twitterverse and everything else. At Jhon.
Yeah. So at Jhon Myquale, JHON. Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks again, man. It's Mild Sauce, No Coast Live. We'll be back again next Sunday.